Alright, welcome everyone to our dev stream. Please let us know if you can hear us and if you can see us all okay, and then we'll jump right into it.
Greetings.
High five, we can hear you by the way. Oh, awesome. Alright, we can hear you all fine. That's great. Nice. Thank you so much for letting us know. So let's start with introductions. Hello everyone, my name is Forsythia, or you may know me as Anjanette. I'm the Senior Community Manager for Vigor, and we have two lovely guests with us today. We have Michal, who is our Senior Technical Designer, and we have Witchy, who is our Junior QA Tester. Woohoo! Alright, we've got some more indications from the chat that they can hear us and see us all okay, so thank you everyone for telling us. Alright, so we should probably start with a little bit of a deeper introduction with Witchy, because nobody has seen you in this stream before. You are a new face for our Outlanders. So would you tell us, well not us, but the Outlanders, a little bit about yourself and what you do, and maybe we'll hit it off with what's your favorite thing so far about working on Vigor.
Okay, so hi, I'm Witchy. I'm 24 years old, and I've been working here for 7 months now, I think. It should be about 7 months.
Feels longer than that.
Yeah, it does. Time flies, I guess. Right now, my favorite thing about Vigor is the dev team, for sure, because we are such a lovely group of people, and that's the best thing ever, to have a great team to work with. And besides that, it is fun to be played for testing games.
Well, yeah, for sure. Understandably so. Thank you so much for the introduction, Witchy. If anyone's got any questions for Witchy, either about Witchy's job, or I know we have some Outlanders out there who like to ask what their favorite map is and such, so feel free to throw it in the chat for us. Great. Michal, would you please introduce yourself for our Outlanders?
Fair enough. I think most of you guys have seen me already. I've been here actually many times by now. But yeah, I'm the senior.
Is that a bad thing? I'm sorry.
No, wait, no. I'm just saying. An observation, if you will. So I'm senior technical designer on Vigor. My job basically is kind of similar to the idea of programming, so I'm responsible for implementing features, fixing bugs, sometimes making new bugs, because that happens, unfortunately. But yeah, basically what we usually do, for those that don't know, is we take designs from the designers, which have specifications for new features, or tweaks, or changes, or whatever you have. We then collect the assets and whatever stuff that we need to from other departments, and we find the best way to implement it, and implement it sometimes with cooperation with programmers, for example, and in other departments as well. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then it goes to us.
And then it goes to them.
Oh.
And then they tell us why we have to redo it.
But that's good, because it's part of the process of us trying to put out a good game, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, and this is also sort of like what you mentioned, although I think you meant it in a slightly different way, like how the team is really cool because there's a lot of cool people, but also the way how we actually cooperate with each other, it's really awesome. And like the fact that like that whole process, that whole pipeline where everything is important, so the work we do, like for example, your work, basically the QA job is very important for us, because that tells us what we do right, what we do wrong, what we need to fix, because without that, basically I wouldn't even need to bother with the stuff that I do. This is basically the safety net for us to make sure that we do our jobs right. So yeah, it is everything, like every piece in the puzzle is important, starting from the very initial moments of design all the way to the work of QA. So yeah, that is generally really cool. Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Speaking of QA, actually, we have someone on the Facebook chat saying that if Witchy's in QA, you must be very busy right now.
I think we just entered the busier part of the
usual business.
Yeah, of the usual process.
Mm-hmm.
But we are not completely swamped right now, so we are.
But you're working on it. It's gonna get there.
I know, it's gonna get swamped every time.
Mm-hmm.
That just happens. That goes with the process.
Mm-hmm.
But we are.
I mean, the truth is, like, we're all always not necessarily swamped per se, but we always have a lot of work. There is certain tendency that sometimes it's a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less, but we always, all the departments have a lot of work to do, so we're constantly working on improving the game, tweaking the features, implementing new features, fixing everything and polishing everything, and bringing quality of life changes so that the game runs as smooth as possible. So.
Speaking of fixes, actually, we've got a few questions, or rather not just a few, well, a few now on the stream, but many players have been asking it as well on our social media. When are you all planning on fixing the issues? What about the issues in the game right now? Like with the ammo bug, like the missing ammo bug. This is one thing that we wanted to, let's say, sprinkle into today's stream as a part of the early news, because this is what we're going to be doing in today's stream, giving you some early news and showing off some things that's coming and just talking about update 14.1. Well, yeah, I blabbered, I'm sorry. I'll jump into it. We are working on a hotfix. We are working on solving some issues that have been brought up by the community. A lot of them are pressing issues, and we are working on the hotfix to the point where we would hope to release it within the upcoming weeks. So we hope that you stay tuned for that hotfix. We are working hard on it, although it hasn't necessarily hit full speed onto the QA team yet. We are getting there, as we would like to release the hotfix in the upcoming weeks. So stay tuned. All right. Let's see. We actually got this interesting message about us not having a Czech stream today. Interestingly, we've actually had a Czech stream in the past, although it has been quite some time since the last Czech stream. I believe that it was Spirit, Archie, and it might have been Philip. But you know, if we would like to do a Czech stream, then we might consider it in the future. So thank you for that. All right. Let's scroll down a little bit, and actually maybe I should change the scene so that we could go into the game. Mostly because if some of you have already read our newsletter, then this isn't necessarily fresh hot news for you, but in the newsletter we mentioned that we have St. Patrick's Day coming up, and we have some special cosmetics for the luck of the Irish, and Witchy is actually scrolling through them now. I think she's trying to make her Outlander look as stylish as possible. So yeah, although I do believe that some of these cosmetics are a mix of cosmetics from the previous round of St. Patrick's Day cosmetics, and some of them are the new ones. Specifically, the outfit is a new one on here. So we hope that you're looking forward to St. Patrick's Day.
I think the bag is new as well.
Yes, indeed. Thank you for turning the character around. Oh yeah, it's new. And we also will have some weapon skins, although I don't think that we have it on this account, sadly, but that's my bad. But you'll just have to stay
We have one of the new weapon skins.
Do we?
Yeah, this one.
Oh, awesome. Nice.
Or at least yeah, I think it's new.
I would hope so. But we'll see. In any case, we'll have a lot of St. Patrick's Day cosmetics available over the next, well, basically from St. Patrick's Day and a few days after that, so we hope that you get to grab some cosmetics and match the luck of the Irish. Maybe it will help you get lucky in the Outlands. Yeah. And we got an interesting thing for you, probably, Witchy. That Are you a fan of Green Day? They might be making a joke because of the outfit, but if you are a fan of Green Day...
I mean, I listen to some songs from them. I wouldn't consider myself a fan, but...
Okay. That
I still want to hear the joke.
What joke? The joke is that, OMG, she's a fan of Green Day.
Aww.
So,
Because you're green.
because you're green. Yeah, thank you.
I'm sad we don't have a green face paint. We should have a green face.
We do have some... Yeah.
They are... Nah, not that kind of a green.
But we will have some St. Patrick's Day themed face paint as well, although I did not add them into this account yet again, which is a little bit tough. And see, our Outlander said it was a joke about the outfit. They clarified.
Okay.
Alright. And by the way, feel free to jump into any game mode that you would like. Okay.
Ah.
And while you're queuing up, actually, I wanted to just quickly announce to the Outlanders that we will also be having a booster apocalypse coming up. It will be from the 22nd till the 24th. But it was announced through our newsletter already, so it's fresh news for those who haven't subscribed to our newsletter, but not so fresh for those who already saw the newsletter come up. Why are you... Never mind, No, I'm worried about how you would answer that question.
I'm not gonna.
Alright, fine.
I would like the original sim pointed out that I always look like I'm up to something. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Sure.
Okay, of course. Let's see. Alright, we have some questions for both of you, actually, or not necessarily questions, but comments. Well, prior to that, people were happy about the gloves and the cosmetics that you were showing. Thank you, Witchy, for giving the community a sneak peek on what's coming. Although we do have an Outlander who would like us to make some bug fixes, which we are constantly working on that. We will be releasing a hotfix in the upcoming weeks because we hear that there are some pressing issues within the game right now, so we're working on that and we hope to release it in the next few weeks. And Tiny Online is telling Michal to be nice to Big Tommy, or
Exactly.
Big Tomato. I mean, you kind of did the thing, but the tomato hit me, and I was worried that you just shoved it aside.
No. It is our precious tomato.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed.
That is a full lobby, though.
It is. Heck yeah. Oh no. We do have a question for Witchy, but would you prefer if I ask you now or wait until
You can ask now. It's
Okay. What got Witchy into wanting to be a QA tester, and what is her favorite map and gun?
Huh, okay. I think the favorite gun for me is the M21 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Or like any sniper rifles. I'm that kind of a person. I am a camper, so
So no
you're gonna see that a lot.
No Puko.
No Puko. No Puko for you.
Alright. Big rip.
For a map right now, I think it's Fiskefabrik.
Mm-hmm.
One of my most favorites. And I'm looking out for the Mirren map as we expand more onto that in the future, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
But
our Outlanders are excited for the
Oh,
fact
yeah.
that Mirren will be an encounter map in the future, so you don't have to hide your excitement, it's
I
okay.
like it as a shootout map so much, but I think it's gonna be great to see that map in encounters as well, and possibly maybe even in elimination.
Mm-hmm. By the way, did you want headphones? Because I forgot to hand them to you, and they're...
I usually play this without the sounds.
Oh, so that's.
Oh yeah.
hardcore.
Oh yeah, it's a hardcore one.
Yeah.
Alright.
And what got me into QA, I wanted to get into game dev for a long time, and this was my way of in, because as QA, you need to play a lot of games, you need to pay a lot of attention. Don't shoot me! Oh, that.
We'll pay a lot of attention, but it's quite hard when you're talking at the same time, I
You
understand.
need to pay attention to details, which I do in outside of my work as well. And it is a great way to get into the game dev, I think.
Yes, indeed. Thank you for
I'm gonna
answering.
observe.
Okay, go ahead. Watch everyone do what they're doing. We do have a question from our chat about Legacy Seasons. How is Legacy Seasons changing? Are we getting more shelter upgrades with this change? Yes, indeed. Legacy Seasons are here to stay for now, at least up until after season 15. So for now you can grind them all okay, but once we do remove the feature, it's because it renders Legacy Seasons obsolete, because we would like to add in new shelter improvements, which will help you earn what you are earning from Legacy Seasons, essentially. So yes, you can look forward to new shelter improvements in place of Legacy Seasons.
Ideally, ultimately, you're not going to be losing anything. It's just going to be a different system of delivery, really. So,
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
at least that's sort of our goal towards which we're aiming for. So.
Yep. And we had some funny statements about Michal and the tomato, which I believe you already spotted, so I'm not going to read that out loud. There are more questions. Are you thinking of something towards crossplay between Xbox and PlayStation? Crossplay is something that we would like. But it does take a lot of time and a lot of resources. So even though we would like it in the future and we would probably slowly work towards that, but for now we are working on polishing up the game to as best as it can be right now. For example, we're working on a hotfix behind the scenes that we would like to release in the next few weeks. So it's a lot of work and effort for our small dev team, but we will get there.
It is in the consideration, definitely, but yeah, like you mentioned, considering the stuff that we're working on, considering the priorities and considering the general scope of features, fixes, and everything, we'll see how it's gonna go. There's a lot more involved in that process, so we'll see. We'll keep you posted once we know, actually. So.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, speaking of which, yes, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but for the hotfix, we will release a changelog of what's been fixed or tweaked after we actually release the hotfix. And really briefly, I wanted to jump in again and say, by the way, we will be having a booster apocalypse next week. Is it next week? From the 22nd to the 24th? It is next week. Okay, awesome. So from the 22nd to the 24th, we will be having a booster apocalypse. We will also be announcing it on our social media, and there will be an in-game announcement about it as well, so hopefully you don't miss out. This time it will be for encounters, so hopefully you'll be able to grind some loot. Okay. And I see that Witchy is queuing up and running around. Oh, you have a really lovely pink gun there.
Oh yeah.
As you.
It is my personal favorite, I will say that.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. We have a question. Can we still get the knives skin? I believe you should still be able to get it from crates. Although RNG is a little bit tough in general, but the knife skin will probably take a lot of grinding through the crates, so we wish you luck with that.
I see that we're getting greetings from the Polish community.
Are you gonna greet them back?
Sure. My też dziękujemy bardzo i pozdrowienia dla was do Polski.
Bless you. Alright, pat. Nice. Thank you. Okay.
In Polish.
Yeah. I'm not sure if he was gonna flex and say that it's not practice, it's just me.
No to chyba może flexować. No ale to chyba nie będziecie zrozumiałe.
I think you just started him.
Okay.
No, okay. So, okay. Also, for the record, because I think I almost missed it, but I think someone was asking about my nationality. I am not Polish. I'm from Slovakia, but I'm from part of Slovakia that's the dialect is kind of close to Polish a little bit. So I kind of like understand it, and I sort of kind of learned a little bit, not a whole lot, but a little bit.
Yep. And sorry, Michal, but a follow-up to the thing that I mentioned about the knives skin. The question was not regarding skins for knives, but rather there is this cosmetic or a weapon skin that has a pattern of knives in it, and I believe that was what was being requested. So hopefully that clears it up for you. It's kind of similar to the tomato skin, but instead of
Yeah.
tomatoes...
I can show it back.
Okay, sure. Yes,
I
please.
think we have it.
I hope so.
I think it should be there, I saw it.
Alright, thank you.
Please.
But until we get to a visual representation of it, let me just briefly describe it. It's like the tomato skin, but instead of tomatoes, there are knives. Or like the pizza skin, where instead of pizzas, there are knives. So, yep, hope that clears it up. Alright.
Campy.
Alright. Let's see. I've heard that in some maps, the birds at exits are bugging out and not making noises. Are there any fixes on the way for this?
Actually, there will be fix. I have to say I'm not entirely sure how soon we can get it there, get it to you guys. But there will be a fix, and it's also actually kudos. here, the Witchy, who actually figured out
That
the
was
issue.
a fun one.
So-
I don't know how much we can say about that, but
Well,
I think you can talk about what was causing the issue. That's okay.
okay. So for now, we have spawn points that are in the exit area, where if you enter that area, the crows will start, and the exit will tell you that hey, someone's there. But as someone gets spawned there, it's the system
Essentially-
won't really work.
Yeah,
you can explain
you can essentially, we could essentially do like the kind of the flag that determines that doesn't get actually triggered.
Yeah.
It will only get triggered after like the second person walks in, essentially. So yeah, we are aware of that issue. Kudos to Witchy here, who discovered it specifically. So the fix is on the way, and we hope that we will be able to deliver it soon.
Yes, indeed.
It took me like 2 days to discover that.
You mean to discover what's causing
Yeah.
it? Mm.
Because the system is working fine, but there are some instances where
But this is because I remember that we've been fixing some issues with exitels also some time back, and this is like an example of the kind of bugs which we can keep trying and trying, and we're not able to reproduce it properly, so we're not able to tell where to look for the actual error, where to actually fix it, and so sometimes it requires a little bit of a creative hit to try something else and to see a pattern there or whatever, which happened here in this case. So yeah, there's bugs like that. There's bugs that is fairly obvious, and then there's occasionally bugs where the repro itself is extremely arbitrary, almost random, and it's nearly impossible to tell where the issue can be. And with a project of this size, with so much code that depends on each other, interacts with each other, and is tied together, sometimes really the issue can be absolutely anywhere. And you're not able to tell unless you actually can specifically reproduce the steps to be able to create the circumstances of that and be able to tell exactly what affects that. So
are we gonna be good or are we gonna be mean?
You can be what you want to be, Witchy.
I'm gonna be mean.
Okay, that was it. She chose. I mean,
I made a decision, yes.
yes.
Let's booby trap.
We also have some similar questions. Thank you, by the way, for bringing up the issue with the exitels and for going
well, also,
on a
thanks to Witchy for discovering that.
Yeah, thank you to the both of you, really. Now we can be assured that we would be
there's
improving
someone.
the game further in terms of the exitels. We also have some questions on our YouTube and Facebook chat, which are very similar to some questions that we received in our previous stream. These questions are focused on the crates and what's changed. So we actually have, I believe, a YouTube short about the changes in the crates, and we will probably be releasing another video sometime soon that explains the changes in the crates a bit further. But if you would like, you can watch our VOD from last stream, or you could also check out the stream summary on our website, where in the previous stream we basically discussed what happened with the crates. I mean, yes, nice. It's literally a camping spot with the tents and everything. In any case, for the crates, long story short, we added a bunch of other things that you could earn from opening the crates. So since we added more loot types into the pool of the crates, you feel like you're not getting as much as other things that you used to get before, but it's just because we increased the loot pool in general. Also, we added more parts for crafting, like weapon parts and consumables parts, to help players who can then instantly craft these weapons or consumables, because you instantly craft them when you have a sufficient amount of parts. Also, this can help you with some challenges, because some challenges actually ask you to craft specific types of weapons. So overall, we feel like we've added more benefits from crates, even though it might not feel like it right now, but in the long run we feel that it will improve the quality of life of the game, and it helps our players out way more. Okay, I hope that sufficiently answered it. Really, if you want the nitty-gritty, we went a little bit more in depth in the last stream, like in the previous stream, and we also have a stream summary on our website. It's dev stream number 81. That would be the dev stream summary for you if you want to learn more about the crates. Okay, let's now see what our other chats have to say, because a lot of them... There was actually this interesting one that I think that Michal could shed some light on about how we fixed the code for the game. So I believe that we were having this discussion before that, well, it's always easier for us to say that it's not a flip of a switch, but I know that you wanted to go a little bit more.
We have an internal joke in our team that like
it's not so internal anymore.
I mean,
now you're gonna tell them.
First of all, it's also internal. Also, as a programmer, that also exists in like communities and societies that are more oriented towards programming in general. Like this is general joke that exists in some form almost everywhere. But like whenever we're fixing bugs, we tend to like ask each other if you found the fix bug button. It's very difficult to find actually sometimes. No, but seriously, yeah, like and I already sort of mentioned it a couple of minutes back that you know, fixing bugs is something that might feel easy sometimes. I actually have worked on bugs that felt that, oh, this has to be simple. Like it's a minor thing. It's just barely an inconvenience to the gameplay. It's fairly obvious what's causing it. Then I actually go into the code and I find out, okay, it's not that. There has to be something else. Then you start getting deeper and deeper in the layers of all the components, all the parts that are working together. You find out that there's like some very obscure system hidden somewhere that's affecting some other obscure system, and you're just tracing this for a long time until you find out that, yeah, there's some issues, and sometimes it can be literally a missing variable or just misused or a value that's set to something else that it should have been. But sometimes it's much more complicated stuff. Like, and if by any chance there's some programmers among you, you would probably know things like concurrency and race conditions and stuff like that, where you get to the point where the behavior of the application, or in this case the game, can actually be fully arbitrary, and you have no way of actually specifically determining the outcome, which makes it much more difficult to actually even discover bugs, which is the part for QA, and actually discover the repro, and then for us to actually fix it. And then sometimes even get to the point when, okay, if I have a fix, I need to also be sure that it does fix the issue. So we also need to test the fix. And if that behavior, again, is not deterministic, that can also make it very difficult. So some bugs, easy peasy. Sometimes even a bug that does look terrible, we end up realizing, oh, it's just a missing reference or something, fixed in a couple of minutes, done, and we can move on, and we just throw it into the project, be ready for the next update. And some bugs seem innocent and can take weeks and weeks of investigation, of testing. I remember bugs that were essentially constant back and forth between QA and developers, where we would, you know, put out a fix or something that we thought that would fix it. The QA would return us, okay, it doesn't work still. So we would just keep doing this dance sometimes. It's really hard to, you know, be able to tell upfront, even from any perspective really, until we actually start investigating those issues specifically. So for example, also from the point of view of a user in general terms of an application, but also in this case players, it can be very difficult to actually properly be able to tell how complicated the bug is, because what you're seeing on the side of the player is really consequences, it's symptoms of the issue, but the underlying issue can be something much more complicated, something completely different,
something that we didn't even imagine sometimes.
Yeah. And because again, like I mentioned, that the game is incredibly complex, there's a lot of components, a lot of systems interacting with each other. We get to the point when actually there's like a kind of like a meme or like a video of I think it's like the panda and like with the hammer the doctors use for like reflexes, that leaves on your knee, and you're like, you hit one knee and like the panda just like moves its arm or whatever. Like it's literally situations like that where a system that you thought has no way of interacting something else, you realize that, oh, something's actually, you know, broken there, and it affects a completely different system. And it's situations like this, so like, yeah, bug fixing is definitely very interesting sometimes, and sometimes very, very frustrating. But yeah, we're trying to do our best among, you know, all the regular work of putting out features, general polish, quality of life, upgrades, and stuff like that. So yeah, we're doing our best. We're trying to prioritize. Then also there's additional factor, if I can, you know, talk about it as well, like specifically the specializations or qualifications of different team members, because obviously we're a team. We've mentioned a couple of times that we're a relatively small dev team, definitely like, compared to sort of industry standards, if you will. There's not a whole lot of us, and we often present ourselves as game devs, but we rarely actually specifically point out what kind of game devs each of us are. Like you see, for example, on stream, where we have, like, under our names,
Like our
there's
title.
position and whatnot, but sometimes it might not be that obvious what it means. And the thing is that, like, every one of us has a different qualification. Like, it gets to the point that, like, yeah, there might be, let's say, 30 of us ish, doesn't matter, let's say, 5-10 people are designers, then you have 5 people that are artists, then you have some people that are programmers, then you have some people that are technical designers like myself, then you have QA, then you have community management. You have like a lot of different positions, each with different qualifications, so it is impossible to expect an artist to start fixing bugs in code. And so we're trying to also obviously prioritize features, tasks, everything, along with the actual capacities that we have on each department, feasibility, the actual availability of each person that can actually do stuff. So
and the thing is, like, we cannot stop the entire process for just bug fixing. We still need to work on new features, we still need to work on new stuff for the upcoming seasons and the releases. So it's not like bug fixing is our only work.
No, it's not. There's many things happening at the same time.
Exactly.
Things happen parallel to each other.
Yeah.
So there's that.
But everything is connected.
Everything is connected, and it's also like, I've noticed as I was talking right now, I wasn't checking the chat as much, but like I've noticed a bunch of questions regarding some of the fixes, some of the features, some of the stuff that we've already mentioned like a lot of times beforehand, and this is all being done in parallel. Like, there are being steps taken to progress in most of these things. We're aware of a lot of these bugs. We're actually working on a lot of those features, like we mentioned. One that I've noticed that has been kind of repeatedly asked about is the weapon overhaul, which we've already mentioned that is something that we are considering, that we are working on as that in progress. So it is something that it is work in progress right now. We don't have more to tell you at this point because it is so work in progress that we're still looking for ways what we can do with the system. We're still like trying to get it to the shape that is presentable, where we can actually start sharing the news with you guys. But it is something that we're working on alongside other stuff. For example, as you guys have already generally guessed after we released Miran with the shootout, that it is a map that we would like to develop further and present it to you guys in other game modes as well, and it is also something that we're working on in parallel. And again, this is allowed to us because we have different people with different specializations. So someone can work on the map, someone can work on the weapon overhaul, someone can work on bugs and other features and whatnot.
Yeah.
Complicated system, a lot of gears turning, but it all works together.
Gonna jump in real quick and just say that for one of our players who was asking about the knife skin, it should be on the screen right now, which thankfully Witchy was able to find. And also, Michal was not mad. You weren't mad. I think that you were just passionately trying to explain. Yeah, like.
Oh yeah, this is my natural face.
The longer you stare, the creepier it gets.
Yep.
That's actually my superpower, by the way.
Okay.
A lot of very independent people have told me that I have very unsettling look if I want to, and even if I don't want to.
All right. And also, side note, someone mentioned that the M21 could change its rarity to purple rather than gold. However, the M21 is not a gold weapon. It's not a special issue. It's a blue.
It's a blue.
It's a blue one?
It's a rare one.
Oh, nice. You actually have it equipped. Okay.
Because I like it.
Yeah, the M21's also one of my favorites, so I totally get
Also, like if you guys have any feedback or suggestions to even gun rarities, we're definitely welcome that, and it can be considered as part of the weapon overhaul. No promises that we're gonna actually make changes to that.
But
just
we're
to be-
always listening.
Yeah, but at least, you know, if you tell us, we can at least consider it. So
I mean, there was an instance where we did change the rarity of a weapon, right? The Raffica. It was white rarity before, and
True.
after community feedback and after we discussed it internally, we changed it to purple. So, yes. And also, we do have some players who are rehashing the question about the crates. We're really sorry if you are not satisfied with our responses right now, although I did mention that we will probably be releasing a more in-depth video about it to explain it further. And since we did kind of go into a deep dive about it on the previous stream, and if you're asking the same question but expecting a different answer, it's a little bit difficult. Though I understand if what you're expecting is a little bit more in-depth, just understand that not all of us have such in-depth technical knowledge like Michal or like Witchy, because we are working on different things, so it will take some interdepartmental communication and cooperation in order to actually get more details and be more in-depth for the community's satisfaction. So hopefully this settles that, and yeah. We also have some questions about getting a native PS5 build and tied to that 120 FPS for PS5. I think that those would be very interesting, but I believe that Johanny mentioned it in a previous stream how lengthy the process of getting a native build would be. And I'm really sad that I don't remember what he said because it was a lot of technical information.
it was, but like without getting into like too much of a, you know, nitty gritty here, and this would sort of like overlap it generally, because if we get to these sort of like technical questions, this is generally much more complicated than it appears. Even, for example, I remember, and that was like a while ago, occasionally somewhere it pops up a question about like, oh, maybe, you know, Vigor could actually then be like, I don't know, ported or made in Unreal 5 or something. Like, yeah, it's not like we can just click a button and it upgrades and we're all happy and we can release it. So
I mean, that would
and
be
it,
nice.
Well, it would
That
be
would
nice.
make your job much easier.
I
wouldn't
wouldn't
it?
have a job if we had
Yeah,
that.
it would be nice, but like again, it goes back to like all the technical stuff that like it is extremely complicated. It is extremely time consuming to do anything like that, and so any steps of this sort of character is something that even if we consider it, it is something that we're very wary of, because it can cause a whole lot of more issues than actually benefit. And with the idea that like we're still trying to work on quality of life upgrades, we're still working on new features, we're still working on new content for you guys, and obviously fixes and general polish of the game. It doesn't make sense for us to actually add this huge overhead of work that we would essentially just cause to ourselves, where we would actually have to fix issues that aren't even new. We'd just be fixing issues to get it to the previous working state in a sense. So this is something that is much more complex and complicated than that. But again, some of these things definitely are being considered, some aren't, and even if they are being considered, doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to commit to it. So we'll see, and we hope that that we can actually come up with some cool things for you guys. But again, there are a lot of limitations as well that we have to work with.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed.
As unfortunate as that is.
Yep. And also, aside from how we've been talking about the process of bug fixing and what we're working on behind the scenes, like the hotfix, really briefly wanted to really briefly wanted to jump into what we basically tweaked or changed for update 14.1, since we did decide to go through with a different, let's say, not layout or method, like a different way of approaching updates, because major updates will be the big ones where they add new features and a new battle pass, and minor updates like 14.1 is more about fixes and catching what we need to polish. But side note, that doesn't mean that we are not going to release any hot fixes, because as you know, we are working on one behind the scenes. But for update 14.1, a lot of the things that we fixed were actually like mostly on the visual side. Like for the M4A1, we fixed the textures, and some clipping as well on some cosmetic models. There was even like a missing crane on Kirsten. So there's that. Or was it not Kirsten? The crane model that was missing. It wasn't Kirsten, wasn't it? I believe so, yeah.
I believe, yeah.
I think so.
But we just made a bunch of different polishes, like the additions to the cosmetic store, the tweaks with the crates, and we also did some performance improvements on Mirren for Shootout. So yeah, that's just some of the things that we did tweak or change or fix for update 14.1. Feel free to check it out on our website. We do have a changelog. It's underneath the 14.0 changelog, so you'll just have to scroll down on that page. So yes. Okay. Who stole the crane? Actually, who did steal the crane?
That's a good question.
I don't think we figured out who stole it. I think we were just more concerned about bringing it back.
Yeah.
Oh, big rip.
Oh yeah, it's very different from what I usually play on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, playtests, internal playtests are...
That as well, but the fact that as QA we switch consoles a lot. And it's very different to play, for example, on a PS5 and then switch to Xbox.
So
and even like switching different types of Xboxes is very different for me.
really,
Yeah.
would you like to get in a bit more on that, or would you rather keep playing?
I can do both. I'm gonna die anyway. It's fine.
Oh, big rip.
That is an interesting approach.
Like the thing is, first of all, I'm not a shooter player. I don't usually play shooters in my free time. So for me, that's mostly a work thing. And with the consoles, the thing is that I usually play on PS5 and I test bugs mostly on PS5, as well as on some other consoles. But my main to go one is PS5, then Xbox, and then Switch. As much as I like Switch, I hate testing on it. But that's a personal preference, and I admire all of you Switch players with our game. Like, I admire that. The level of work you need to put into that is impressive. For me, I cannot see anything there. So, the PS5 in my view is smoother, I think. But I'm comparing it to Xbox One, which I have.
Not
So,
the...
yeah,
But this is
not
this is a Series X that you're playing on right now. So.
It is different. And also, since I have personalized the settings on all my consoles, and they are different from here, even shooting feels very different.
You could have taken note of your sensitivity if you wanted.
Remember that stuff.
Well, you could have... Well, okay, noted it down. I will remind you next time to note it down.
I'm not sure if I like the aim assist or not.
You could turn it off if you'd like.
I know.
We have some comments about LMGs and how it's still in dire need of tweaking or changing up. And we do agree that guns in general do need a change, and we are working on a weapon overhaul for this year. It's one of our goals, or it's one of our priorities for this year. It should improve the overall state of how weapons are like in the game, but we sadly can't share too much information about it right now, because maybe I'll bring up again that I'm not, or we're not the responsible people necessarily for it, so it's a lot of technical knowledge and in-depth stuff.
But also, like I mentioned, that it's still heavily work in progress, so we're still basically figuring out what everything we want to do with it. And in addition to that, by the way, like one thing that I noticed is like a lot of people in community essentially, to some degree, basically share ideas with us, or like we share ideas with people from community about like what we want to do with the guns. And that's basically the motivation why we're working on weapon overhaul, is to rework the system so that it allows us to do all those things that it actually coincidentally all of you are asking for, which currently is not possible, or at least not as possible as we would like.
Yes, indeed. And we do have some reports again about the missing ammo issue. Just so you know, we're completely aware of that, and in case you missed it, we will be definitely releasing a hotfix in the upcoming weeks. So we really hope you're looking forward to that. We're working hard to push it out as soon as possible, but you can probably expect it in the upcoming weeks. So fingers crossed that all goes smoothly, and hopefully it will be resolved. It is a part of the hotfix, but we'll see. All right. Could we get a shelter focus for next year? What does that mean? Could you clarify what that means exactly?
Maybe
because
improvements?
yeah, that's what I wanted to get to, that we will be working on more shelter improvements this year. So I just want to make sure that the suggestion is something different than what we already have planned. Maybe it's a different idea, so feel free to let us know. Okay.
Oh yeah, I am a looter, not a shooter. I agree with that.
Oh yeah.
I wonder what would happen if you two guys actually teamed up.
Oh, everyone would die probably.
And then
Yeah.
you loot everyone.
Oh yeah, I loot everything.
Well, not if I loot first.
Oh.
I think I want to do a challenge about the looting.
I don't choose to kill unless I have to. I literally just go and loot and then run off if I want to. What are you pointing
I
at?
do actually like Hey Bath, but everyone is just...
Damn.
Awesome. Okay, yeah, I realized it was the shirt. I totally...
But yeah, I actually love how he himself actually makes fun of that sometimes. There's like one extremely old interview where like the interviewer actually asks him like, so Abod, like what can you tell us about the show, or something like that, and he just like starts making fun of that, then corrects him essentially in the very same way I did. So it's a moth.
Yes. Okay. And we've got people making fun of the A bath joke, but sure, we'll go with that.
No, that was a good joke.
It was. But even better is the Outlander who followed up with us when I asked what did they mean about the shelter improvements, and that, yeah, we will be working on more shelter improvements this year, and that is tied to Legacy Seasons being obsolete, because, like, I really like how you said it earlier, Michal, that it's the same thing, just a different delivery system. That was perfect. That was perfectly worded. Thank you. Thank you for that. Okay. Oh, cross-platform is a bad idea. Don't consider it, please. I assume that they meant crossplay rather than cross-platform?
Yeah, it sounds like that, yeah.
Okay. Feel free to let us know why you think that it wouldn't be that good of an idea. We'd like to hear what you think about it so that we could try and keep it into consideration while we make our decisions as well. And
Petition.
We are admiring the 500 airdrops
500 airdrops?
delivered, like extracted.
Oh, the title. Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't focusing
Oh,
on
yeah,
the
sorry.
title, so I was worried. I was like, what? Airdrops in Shootout? But okay, it was a title.
Yeah, that's a title, yes.
Okay.
There is a person.
Okay. And we did get a question about knives, and it's a commonly requested one where some players are asking if we could get throwable knives, something to make the knives useful. I would say that that's actually a very interesting idea, like having them throwable. Other players have brought it up as well. You look like you're like,
Well, no, here's the thing, like, there's so many cool ideas that, well, you guys have come up with, a lot of cool ideas that we've already come up with. Some of those are the same, some of those aren't. But, like, again, we're getting back to the issue of, well, general priorities, general complexity of stuff. Considering that, for example, even that weapon overhaul is a major thing, that hopefully would allow us to work better with guns in general. But yeah, like, these ideas tend to have that sort of, I don't want to say like effect, but like, yeah, they sound cool, but then you start like getting into the technical stuff, and yeah,
No, that's
It's a little bit tough.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting idea nevertheless.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that I wouldn't love to see it in game. Like, there's so much stuff that I would love to see in the game. I'm not gonna tell you because
Unicorns or pets, for example. I still vote for the dog in a shelter.
Everyone wants a dog in their shelter.
I mean,
And I bet it would be Hero.
I mean, well,
Also, for all of you who follow us on TikTok, I think you might saw my dog, Hero, on
Yes.
Meet the Dogs of Vigor.
It's Hero the Border Collie.
Oh yeah,
Yes, indeed.
that was fun shooting that.
actually, and it's sort of like a drag a little bit. But,
Just
aw.
down, damn it!
Big.
But also, Hero was actually like a
In your
guest
will say that,
at
yeah.
my interview. Yeah.
I think, yeah, we were standing behind the camera and Hero just yeeted himself into
Oh
the-
yeah. I mean, we did it on purpose.
Yeah, but like,
But that means she didn't.
Witchy did it on purpose, but I think it's safe to say that we're
lie.
disappointed that your drink didn't spill.
Yeah, I was expecting more. It was.
Well, sorry to disappoint then, I guess.
No worries.
Oh, and see, look, we've got some people agreeing with dogs in the
Aw.
shelter. I mean, that would be nice.
But don't read the other part.
Oh yeah.
So you're not a cat person.
I am a cat person, but I'm allergic to cats.
Oh, no.
I found
But then again, a digital cat would be then perfect, right?
a cyber cat. I
Oh.
would like a cyber cat.
All right. And we also have someone asking about in-game voice chat. We aren't planning on such a feature right now. It's rather difficult because it can cause more harm than good. Notoriously, one of the systems that we thought would provide more benefits than cons is actually being misused and abused inappropriately, namely the vote to kick system on elimination.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, if you want to...
Did it hurt to hear it out loud?
Perhaps a little bit, but I mean, this is again one of those things that it's sort of like an unending race with certain types of players or certain types of users. Ultimately, I would say that it's a very similar thing to, if I generalize again a little bit, the engineers that actually work on cryptography and security protocols or softwares, that they're sort of like actually kind of playing this game with hackers and what kind of other people. But like this goes, in my opinion, to a different place, and here I would actually use a quote to help me. It's by the magnificent game designer Soren Johnson, who actually started in Firaxis on Civilization 3, then was the lead designer on Civilization 4, and left and set up his new studio. They made some great games after that. And he actually said at one point that given the opportunity, the player will optimize the fun out of the game. And this was mostly used specifically for the context of single-player games, I believe, but I like that it can be in a way generalized into multiplayer context, where, again, given a certain community, there's certain average, but there are also people kind of outside of that average. Some for the good part, but some not so. And again, given the opportunity, these players would actually then end up optimizing the fun out of the game. But in the multiplayer environment, this has the unfortunate effect that it affects other players as well. And so it is sort of like this, playing cat and mouse, trying to figure out a way to make some things foolproof, but again, at the same time, give players certain degree of control over their own experience, except this isn't just their own experience. So, yeah, but specifically with this feature that you mentioned, we went through that with the team, and we are working on it so that we can deliver something that would work better than it does right now.
I think it's like, be the kind of player that you want to meet in the game.
That would be very lovely, yeah. But...
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed.
Ooh!
Yeah, they.
Oh yeah, that is the other one.
The St.
Southern
Patrick's
one.
Day
Oh yeah.
skin. Yes,
Uh-huh.
we actually did have
Really?
someone in the chat just ask if we are going to be getting anything for St. Patty's Day. Yes, we are. Witchy, are you still wearing the same?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. So when you respawn, we can show off a bit about a little bit of what's coming.
Oh yeah.
So
we have the hat, we have the board, and then we have the bag. It's very cool.
indeed, yeah. But this is only a sneak peek. Of course, we have more outfits coming your way, more cosmetics, more weapon skins. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be available in the shop from St. Patty's Day. Sorry?
We gotta play hide and seek.
Okay, blush.
Come on. I'm gonna die.
Yes, so
I'm in danger.
St. Patrick's Day cosmetics from the 17th until the next few days after St. Patty's Day. So hope you enjoy the luck of the Irish in the Outlands. And we did have some of our partners stop by and say hi, so thank you for stopping by, everyone. Actually, we will be ending our stream quite soon. Or yeah, I see you look at your watch and you're like, how did that happen? It tends, yeah, it goes really quick. Oh, and oh, my bad. I saw a question earlier about the missing tomato skin for the berry M12.
Yeah.
The team is aware of that. We know what caused it thanks to some help from our community members, and we investigated it, and we hope to fix it up real soon as well. We're sorry that it happened, but don't worry, your skin will hopefully return with the fix. We are not taking it away from you permanently. We are not gonna make you buy it again or grind for it again. It should be yours because it was yours already before, so we're not gonna take it away from you. We're sorry that this issue popped up, so.
I also think that before we end the stream, there's like one quest.
What is the quest? What is the quest? Oh, yes. Oh, I see. It's because, but Witchy is busy, so take the controller from her.
Oh yeah.
So shoot. Ah. I'm not sure if the sound
I'm not
effect-
used to the
Exactly.
Oh, reload. Witchy. So one of our partners gets or collects a compilation of developers on the stream saying a specific phrase
Oh no.
called "punch their beards off," and they would like you to say it. They made a remix, like a
Punch their beards off.
yes, but you have to do it with a lot of passion, like you punch his beard off, or
Punch his beard off.
Ooh.
Yours. Yours too.
oh yeah,
Good though. No worries.
okay. So I'm glad that we were able to finish the shootout match on time.
I didn't do shit.
Real quick before we wrap up, just wanted to let you know again that aside from St. Patrick's Day, you can look forward to a booster apocalypse next week from the 22nd to the 24th. You will be also getting an in-game notification about it, and also on our social media, we'll be posting about it as well. Thank you all so much for stopping by. Thank you for listening to us, and thank you for your understanding and patience. We will be releasing a hotfix in the upcoming weeks to resolve the issues that are pressing right now. Alright, before we head out, any last words, Witchy? Since this is your first stream, I'm sure people would want to know more.
I enjoyed this stream with you, and I hope to see you guys more. I think that's all for me.
Okay, awesome. Michal?
Sure. Like always, thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting us. And, you know, keep posted because we do have some cool stuff prepared. We are working on some cool stuff that you guys have no idea about just yet.
Because we're not allowed to talk about it.
We're not allowed to talk. You know, obviously, like, with time, there's gonna be a time for everything. So yeah, just stay safe and take care of each other, and yeah, have fun in the Outlands.
Thank you, Michal. I wanted to say bye, but then I also forgot to mention that our next stream is actually on April 5. It will not be 2 weeks from now, but rather 3 weeks from now. So we'll see you all next time on April 5. And thank you for stopping by. As always, if you have any reports or feedback for us, please do send them to us on our social media. We'll be more than happy to read it and pass it on to the team. Like my two colleagues over here, who are also my friends. But yes. All right, thank you everyone, and we'll see you in the Outlands. Bye!